Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, whenever you get to watch this video. I'm Dr. Jan, and this is Russell Institution of Learning Family Learning Pod Program Update. Well, let me tell you, I have had several encounters this past month that encourage me about what our Family Learning Pod program can do for our families. You know, we're actually in our second year because it's taken the first year to get everything planned and ready to go. And on September 7th, the first Monday of September, we initiate our program. So I'm praying that if you have any families that once you listen or you know that they could use some encouragement because their students are in grades 5 through 9, and they are struggling with getting their children their education. It's creating stress within the home. That's what Family Learning Pod is created, to help reduce the stress in the home surrounding the education of their children. And so I heard two stories, whereas, if we could have only had Family Learning Pod, because this is something that many families need, but it's not out there. We always hear about programs just for parenting, and we hear programs for the kids, but this is a combined family, parents and children enrolling. So in this process, there was a family that was living outside the country, and so they're in a country that does not have the language. They were homeschooling their children. And the mother I talked to said, I was crying, my children were crying. And if we had had the Family Learning Pod that could have come in and helped us, we could have made it through with a lot less stress. So that was a mother who was hindsight looking like, that's a program we wish we could have been enrolled in. And then I learned about another family who, again, for whatever reason, this month I was talking to a lot of people who have access to out-of-the-country families, and they were living outside the country in a country where they did not speak the language. And this family was unable to do the homeschooling. They had to send their children to boarding school. And so the mother, who was a registered nurse, that was her job she was doing in this country, she wound up not being able to function. I mean, she became so distraught and depressed because her kids had to be sent away for education. And it was almost, they were down to the bare wire of coming back to the United States because it just wasn't working. When there was a group of individuals who got to visit in that area, and there was one lady who went in and became that support, like what Family Learning Pod would be. And over about a 3-week period, the mother was able to regain sanity of her mind, uplifting of not feeling the depression. Now, did that change that her children were in boarding school? No. But a support that comes alongside that gives you hope. That's what Family Learning Pod is all about. So, ladies and gentlemen, I'm telling you the program works. And why do I know it works? Because I've also run into several of my previous 7th grade students this month who are now late 20s, maybe mid 30s. And I want to shout out to Jeremy and Ricky because they looked at me. Are you so-and-so? You know you were our 7th grade teachers. And they were able to repeat to me some of the very tips and tools that I used in class. We laughed, but this is like 15, 20 years later. They still remember what I taught them. One student, Ricky, said, you know what? I went off to school because I taught science. And he said, I went off to school and I majored in biology. And I still remember, he said, I taught them kingdom, phylum, class, order, family, genus, species. Because we're trying to make learning active. Because when your body learns, it repeats. That's why we like those little jingles. But we stood out on the street and we both did it together. And they both said, you were our favorite teacher. I'm not trying to be anybody's favorite teacher, but when learning is fun and you reduce the stress in your learning environment, so many more things can be learned. So ladies and gentlemen, I just want to encourage you, share this video. Share what's going on with Family Learning Pod. We're still taking enrollment, but we only have 10 spots because we need to give every family their focus. You know, it's not about the large numbers. It's about being intentional and working with individual families and giving them the encouragement they need. So I'm just letting you know it's a difference, not just for the parents, not just for the children, but it's for the family. And that's what makes us different. And as they learn critical thinking, communication, the culture of who they are as a family, they then become more involved in their community, and it definitely builds character. So please share this opportunity with families. Go to the enroll. It's free information. You know, just because you ask doesn't mean you automatically enroll, but an application, free. And so I'd really like to talk to the families. I really would like to help you know whether this program is for you or not. So let us know, and we look forward to hearing from you or your neighbor, your friend, your family, someone you think this program will be best for them. Talk to you later. Great.